Hello everyone, I am Sam. I'm from Canada, Hippo. I'm CEO and co-owner of Hippo Entertainment. I left Canada yesterday morning. It's 8:30 in the morning there, so I'm ready for breakfast. So who wants to go for breakfast? Let's do it. I'm thrilled to be here today to talk a little bit about a world of opportunity. And I'm learning a lot at Pocket Gamer. I don't know, are you learning lots going around to the different sessions? I'm personally learning lots. And the reason I come to Pocket Gamer as well as other places is because to learn about what's going on in the world, I find it tough to do unless you actually go there. And so it's powerful to come here. And I actually find it an honor to be a part of our industry because I think our industry is a pretty cool thing. We're in the entertainment industry. And I think the entertainment industry has something really unique because in the entertainment industry, I think we actually get to affect the hearts of people. And it's more than just playing a game sometimes. It's like you really can impact the life of a person. And so it's an honor. It's an honor to do what we do. And that's what we talk about when we talk about at Hippo, about connecting people around the world. We really think that there's a fundamental difference when people have common understandings and common ideals and common interests. And that's something that we can do. We can do. Video games are played just about anywhere around the world. So what a cool opportunity we have. So our company was born out of, has a background and sort of pedigree in children's entertainment. Probably 20 years or so ago, the team was doing live ops at a time that nobody knew what live ops was. Live ops was something that came about later, but it started out with a snowball fight online, and it was very popular with kids, and that snowball fight changed every week. It changed every week, and every week something new happened in that snowball fight. And it became this world called Club Penguin. And Club Penguin was something that then grew to 300 million kids playing regularly on instead of Saturday morning cartoons or a number of different things. And that's all because you just had new things coming out all the time. And that's what we talk about with live ops. So that's kind of some of the pedigree. And then after going through some of those things, live ops became sort of a core tenet of everything in what our team was doing. It was very, very core to what we were doing. And from there, we've started to develop another core tenet, which is in the global. So that's why we're talking today about a world of opportunity. And so we started building other types of games. And one of the things we stumbled across was when we were trying new games, was a game that somebody came up with that I really didn't think was a very good idea. And the only problem was that the players did. And so we started out with this game, and it started, and it was like I really didn't quite get the purpose of the game when the game designer pitched it. But the more that we had people playing this game, the more we learned that people liked it, and then we updated it, and then we updated it, and then we updated it. And for the last 5 years, we've been updating this game. And if you were to play this game today, it's different than the game you played 5 years ago. But we're getting close to, I think we're approaching close to 70 million people who have played this game. So Adventure Capitalist is something we're proud of. It's something that has grown and done a great job. One of the challenges that we've had in Adventure Capitalist is that the vast majority of our players are in 4 countries. English-speaking, North American, UK, and Australia. So that's why global is becoming such an important part for us, is we have to figure out how to do that better. So yes, building a global strategy, that's what I'm here to talk about. If you want the 30 seconds, this is what I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes, is just get really good at something, find some good people to do it with, find some great global partners, and then go for it. So I'll skip through some of this, but basically this was on a trip to China recently. I was going to China, and it was interesting to me that we were going over. I flew for 10 hours from Vancouver to Peking, Beijing, and I probably covered 100,000 people when I flew across that. There was nobody there. Well, this is something that I showed our team when I was flying from how you can have a difference in perspective, because here's flying from Seoul to Delhi. And when I was on the flight from Seoul to Delhi, and I took this picture from, this is the map in the front of the seat in front of you. You ever seen those in the airplanes? You see your map, this is the map. And it struck me when I saw this, and it's like, wow, there's half the world's population on this map. Most of those people have never played our game. Most people never heard of it. Talk about opportunity, there's a world of opportunity. So, I stole something from Newzoo here, and I was listening to them this morning, and they were updating this, and I was pleased to hear that their 2020 information actually reflects what I thought it would say, and is that basically North America, where we do a lot of our games, it's growing, but not near as fast as the other areas of the world. We look at China, we look at the Asian markets, we look at the European, East Africa, Latin America. That's where a large part of the growth is coming from. In our company, we haven't got it all figured out. The majority of our players, the majority of our audience, the majority of our revenue comes out of the North America area. We're missing a whole bunch. Why are we not doing more? So let's figure out how to do that, team. That's what we're working on. The 2020 basically says that Newzoo Report says that the growth is growing in those other areas, as I said. That's what I would have thought traveling and seeing different places. That's exactly what the reports tend to be showing. Huge opportunity for us. Our team is spending a lot of time now thinking about what are the growth areas outside of our existing markets. When you take a look at some of the simple things, who are the big giants in the world, where they were. This is data from Newzoo, it's not mine. But it's where's the new opportunities? And when you look at that, we have like the United States, which is the majority of our market, 80% penetration in smartphones, how many new users are coming on. It's compared to where some of the other markets are, there's growth in the global markets. That's why we're talking about global live ops now. Just as as an anecdote, places like India, I spent time with the people in charge of Google over in India. They tell me that they have 20 million new users coming to the Google Play Store every month. And you think about what that means when they come every month, 20 million new users. I come from Canada where it's taken 10 years to get like 10 million. And now they get 20 million in a month. Most of them have never played a game before. What does that mean to the way that things happen? So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and for us, we're looking at being active in those top 3 markets heavily within the next 2 years. So, and we have a lot of friends from Brazil as well when we look at Brazil, because Club Penguin was very popular. We had a lot of Club Penguin friends in Brazil, still are. So opportunities from the global side. So I'm just giving sort of a perspective of there's something about going global. Now, this is just an embarrassing thing to say, but it's true, is that, you think it just, how hard can it be? Because we live in a digital world, we make our builds, we put them out, it goes global, you hit the little checkbox on the app stores and you're global, right? Oh, well, you know what? What we're finding out is that it's complicated. There's a lot to it. I grew up in a time doing business for 30 years that I always think that people emulated the business leaders who could say, here's something really complicated, I'm going to make it into a simple statement, and this is what it is. And so I go through all of that, and I spend all this time, and I'm hitting a brick wall, because now I'm getting into this for the first time in my life, looking at things, and it's complicated, and I can't put it into a simple statement. It's complicated. So when you get into this, if you're going to go global, which I'm encouraging you, I don't know, how many of you are global now? Like, how many of you are developing games? How many are developers? Developers, yes. How many of you have games in North America? How many of you have games in Asia? How many of you have games in Africa? We all have opportunity. So good for you. Middle East, big area, growing. So all I wanted to do today was just give some really simple things to think about about being complicated. And because it's so complicated, I think it's fair to say that this is not something that you should try to do alone. We really strongly have learned that having good people, that's our strategy going forward, is having good people around the world. We're not going to know how to do it all ourselves. So coming out with those trusted partners that you need, you can see some of the things that need to be taken care of. That I tell you, you travel and you find out about monetization strategies you never heard of before. Like some things I never thought. The complication of payment systems. Wow, you can spend hours and hours and hours on these things. But anyway, all I'm saying is that if there's great opportunities in going global. We think that there's great opportunities in going global. We're doing our best. I'm not saying we figured it all out, but there's no way that I would dare try that if I was going to do it on my own. So having the trusted partners, going with the because it's so complicated, the more that we can unify our back-end systems, the front ends can change. I talk to different game developers and they just have their games and, you know, the front end changes, the colors changes, there's localization, there's all those type of things. They can change those things one way, they can change them back. They can change them one way, they can change them back. But when you get into the data and you get into the back end, you can't change it one way and change it back. So the more you can do your analytics, the more you can do your back end, the more you can have that all together. It's hard. We're trying to figure it out. Can't say we figured it all out, but we're trying to figure those type of things out. The third thing I say is be focused. The biggest thing that I think we can do wrong is underestimate how hard it is to be the best in the world in something. And to be that best in the world, like in anything, holy cow, that's a major accomplishment if we can do that. And we were trying to do too many things. And so we were trying to do too many things, too many genres, too many different ways of doing things. So for us, it's like we need to be more focused. And we've started being more focused, and we probably need to be more focused still. It's still going to be a challenge. And so coming back, find out what you're really, really good at. And then when you find out what you're really, really good at, then take that out onto the global stage. Because it's huge out there. I mean, the world of opportunity, it's really quite amazing. And so some of these things, I'm not reading the slides because I think, you know, hopefully some of them are straightforward. But some of the things that are important, that, like, example, leverage the power of the big boys. We got displays out here from Microsoft, Amazon, Firebase. These are people who are really, really good at what they do. And those are things that, well, at least for people like us, I don't know about you, but for us, those are the things that we have to depend on, because if we try to reinvent the wheel on all those things, not going to work. What do we find? Working closer together with them, that's how we can open up doors, do a lot of things that they're still learning too. Like, they're really learning too. So this is one area where you can, as a developer, spend time. You can learn from them. They can learn from you. The more you get together with them, the more you're going to get their support. And the more you get their support, it's kind of surprising what type of opportunities can open up. So, so that's just sort of a free financing type tip on developing. Just some quick things, just some notes. You know, I talked about, you know, we're Canadians. I think it's really cool. Sean's down here. He runs the studio in Vancouver. You walk into a studio and you hear so many, yeah, wave. You should dance. He's smarter than me, so he actually should be up here. And he agrees. But it's wonderful when you walk in, and in a place like North America, you don't have this as often, but you hear a bunch of languages. How many languages? 8 languages, 9 languages in your studio? Yeah, in North America, that's unusual. When you go to the studios in Asia, that's more unusual. In Europe, I imagine you hear it all the time. So, the cultural awareness is something that if you take back into your studio, we need to do more of this. These are challenging things that we don't fully understand. You know, when I started communicating with China on WeChat, don't use the thumbs up when you're saying good job, because it's not what I thought it said. When you're in South America, don't be a rock star, because it means something totally different than what we're used to in some of our own hometowns. So be culturally aware, know what that is, and bring that in, because live ops means that you're constantly talking with your players. It means you're constantly updating things, and you have to be in communication with them. And if you're communicating the wrong things to them, well, it doesn't matter how good your game is. If you just told them to, they're not coming back. So cultural awareness is something we need to do more of, and so encourage that. Brands is something that we really focus on. I mean, brands is something that is more than the game. Brand is something that goes more. We firmly believe that brands are the most valuable asset in your studio. Obviously the people, but from the long-term business valuation and such like that, the brands are what the people are building. So those brands can stay, but then you're going to have games that are going to come around. You can amend those brands to fit the local market. We're looking at how other platforms other than games as well, because if you look at particularly at younger demographics, what we're finding and looking at the demographics globally is that younger demographics are spending a lot more time on non-game functions. Sure, they're playing games, no doubt about it, but if you go to the Gen Zs and younger, they're spending more time on social platforms and such like that than they are on the game platforms, or have historically. So that's really all I wanted to kind of talk about today. Just really encourage. It's like, this is something we haven't figured out, and if it's something that you're learning about and we can talk more about, I'd love to learn from what you're doing too. This is something that is going to keep me probably engrossed for the rest of my business career. So it's not going to be an easy, quick fix or anything that's done. And we're looking at, boy, how we can all have an impact. Like I said, entertainment and video games, we have such an opportunity to have an impact on our cultures and our people around the world. And so if we can learn together and share, this is why we're here. So thanks very much. I'm glad you're here.